West and Kim Kardashian was viewed as the ultimate celebrity fairy tale. He was the controversial genius of music and fashion, and she was the reality TV star turned global business mogul. Together, they built a dynasty, one that combined entertainment, luxury, controversy, and influence. Yet behind the flashbulbs, the lavish homes, and the billion-dollar brand deals, something was breaking. Their marriage, once celebrated as Hollywood's most powerful union, began to show cracks. Fame, pressure, and deeply personal differences slowly eroded the bond that once seemed unshakable. But before the headlines screamed about divorce, before lawyers began drafting paperwork, Kanye and Kim tried to hold on to each other one last time. In a private ceremony, hidden from cameras, they renewed their vows. It was an intimate moment, an emotional attempt to save their marriage, if only for the sake of their love and their children. What few people know is that during this vow renewal, Kanye West made a final promise to Kim Kardashian, a promise that would haunt both of them in the months to come. This was not just a pledge of love, it was a confession, a vow of change, and perhaps even a warning. Part 2. The Rise of Kim and Kanye. Love, fame, and faith. To understand the weight of that last promise, we have to revisit how this love story began. Kim Kardashian had already cemented herself as a household name through Keeping Up with the Kardashians, her family's reality show, and her growing fashion empire. Kanye West, meanwhile, was one of the most acclaimed musicians of his generation, an outspoken rapper whose creativity redefined hip-hop, fashion, and even public culture. They were friends long before they became lovers. Kanye once admitted he had admired Kim for years, even when she was married to others. He saw in her something the world didn't: resilience, ambition, and an untouchable aura. By 2012, the timing was right. Their romance became public, and in 2014, they married in a lavish ceremony in Florence, Italy. The wedding was the stuff of legends. Andrea Bocelli sang as Kim walked down the aisle, and the couple kissed in front of a massive wall of flowers. Their marriage was not just a union of two people, it was a merging of two empires. They became parents to 4 children: North, Saint, Chicago, and Song. To the outside world, they had it all: love, family, and success beyond imagination. But beneath the surface, there was always tension. Kanye's unpredictable personality and public outbursts collided with Kim's carefully managed image. His spiritual journey and political views often left Kim torn between loyalty and damage control. Still, the world believed they could withstand anything. After all, they had built an empire on surviving storms. Yet, every empire eventually faces a breaking point. Part 3. The Vow Renewal, a private ceremony few knew about. In 2019, when the marriage had already endured years of strain, Kim and Kanye quietly decided to renew their vows. Unlike their wedding in Italy, this moment was not for cameras or magazines. There were no headlines, no exclusive coverage, just close family and a few trusted friends. Kim later admitted on Keeping Up with the Kardashians that the vow renewal was for their children. She wanted them to remember a moment of their parents choosing love, not conflict. It was meant to strengthen the family bond and remind everyone, including Kim and Kanye, that their story was not over yet. The setting was intimate. Soft music played in the background, candles lit the space, and their children were dressed in white. Kanye, who had already been shifting into a more spiritual phase of his life, insisted that the vows should not just be about romance, but about God, family, and forgiveness. Kim, often more reserved, was deeply emotional. She spoke of loyalty, of raising their children together, and of trying to find peace amidst the chaos of fame. But it was Kanye's words that stood out, the last promise he made that night. He took her hands, looked into her eyes, and said something that no one in the room could forget. Kanye promised Kim that no matter what happened, he would always protect her name and her legacy. He vowed that he would never speak against her publicly, never allow the world to tear her down, and that even if their love failed, his respect for her would remain. It was an emotional declaration, one that seemed to heal wounds in the moment. Kim cried, and for a brief time, the ceremony gave them hope. But promises, especially in Hollywood, are fragile, and Kanye's vow would soon be tested in ways neither of them could have predicted. That night, during the vow renewal, Kanye's tone was different. For years, he had been known for his fiery speeches. speeches, his unfiltered outbursts at award shows, his passionate monologues on politics, his controversial interviews. But this moment was quieter, more personal, almost as if he was speaking not only to Kim but also to himself. He began by recalling the struggles they had already endured, the media scrutiny, the fights that spilled into headlines, the misunderstandings that the world twisted into scandals. He reminded Kim that despite everything, they were still standing together. Then he made the promise that would define the end of their marriage. Kanye swore to Kim that no matter what the future held, he would never let bitterness consume him. He said he would not betray her by speaking against her in public. He vowed to defend her reputation, to shield her from the cruel words of critics, and to honor the years they had shared, even if the marriage collapsed. "You'll always be the mother of my children," Kanye reportedly whispered. "And because of that, I will never let the world turn you into my enemy." It was a striking statement, considering Kanye's history of publicly feuding with celebrities, including former friends and collaborators. He was promising Kim something he had never promised anyone before: lasting loyalty beyond romance. Kim, visibly emotional, embraced him. For that evening, it felt as if they were rewriting their future. But life has a way of testing words, and Kanye's promise, so beautiful in the moment, would soon be overshadowed by his actions. Part 5, Faith, Family, and Fame, the struggles behind closed doors. To the outside world, the vow renewal painted a picture of reconciliation. But insiders close to the Kardashian West household revealed that the struggles never truly disappeared. Kanye was undergoing a spiritual transformation. He had started his Sunday service gatherings, blending gospel music with his vision of faith. He spoke passionately about God, redemption, and the role he believed he was destined to play in culture. While Kim admired his faith, she also felt the weight of his unpredictable behavior. His sudden changes in direction often disrupted their home life. At the same time, Kim was building her own empire, expanding her beauty line, launching her shapewear brand Skims, and stepping into criminal justice reform advocacy. She was balancing motherhood, fame, and business at levels almost no one else in the world could understand. This balance of power, Kanye the visionary, Kim the strategist, was powerful but fragile. Their ambitions sometimes aligned, but often they collided. Then came Kanye's public breakdowns. In 2020, during his short-lived presidential campaign, he revealed deeply personal details about his marriage, including discussions about their first pregnancy. These revelations shocked fans and deeply hurt Kim, who had always protected her children from the spotlight when it came to sensitive matters. This was the exact scenario his vow was supposed to prevent. He had promised never to expose her, never to let her name be tarnished. Yet the pressures of fame and his personal struggles pushed him to do the very opposite. Kim, torn between loyalty and self-preservation, publicly defended Kanye, acknowledging his mental health challenges. But privately, the cracks were deepening. The vow renewal had been a symbolic attempt at healing, but reality was pulling them apart. Part 6, Why the Marriage Fell Apart After the Renewal. By the time the world learned of their divorce in early 2021, fans were stunned. How could a couple who had just renewed their vows split so quickly? The truth is, the vow renewal had been more of a last attempt than a fresh beginning. Sources close to the family described it as Kim's